Hey guys, so today I'm doing something a little different. This past Halloween, I dressed up as Tonks from Harry Potter. Now, my look was inspired by her outfit in Order of the Phoenix, and with that outfit was a choker that I needed to make for my costume. So I decided to film a little DIY of how I made this choker. The material you will need for this DIY include a cord. I chose to use a round wax cord. However, you could also use a leather or suede cord if you want it to look a little closer to her choker in the movie. You will also need cord crimps. After all, we do have to attach the cord to something. Now you've got to choose your pendants. I chose to use veils. However, if you want it to look a little closer to her choker in the movie, you can also use brass half-dome buttons. You will also need crimp bead covers. I bought mine off of Amazon, so I will leave that link below. You will also need jump rings. I recommend buying both small and larger ones, depending on the size of your cord. You will also need some kind of clasp, and the type that you prefer is completely up to you. I chose to use a lobster clasp for mine. And you will also need some pliers. After all, we have to put everything together. For my project, I used needle nose pliers, combination pliers, and diagonal cutting pliers. In the first step, you will wrap the cord around your neck once in order to measure the required length for the pieces of your choker. Using your diagonal cutting pliers or whatever you are cutting your cord with, cut at the desired length. Next, using that first piece as a measuring guide, you are going to cut several more pieces of cord at the same length. The number of pieces of cord that you need is entirely up to you. It really depends on just how many layers of the choker you would like. I use 4. Next, we are going to use our cord crimps. You're going to take one end of the cord and place it inside the crimp. Now, there are crimp pliers that are available, however, I just decided to use my combination pliers and they did perfectly well for me. But you will start by placing the pliers on either side of the crimp and squeezing it tight. Now this part is a little more difficult to explain, but you're going to shift those pliers so that you're pressing down on the crimp, and then you'll go back and forth between the two positions until the crimp is completely tightened around the cord and it is secure. Now you are going to repeat this process on both ends of the cord on all pieces of cord. Now we are going to take our jump rings. If you have 2 different sizes, you will be using the smaller of the sizes. And using our needle nose pliers, you are going to gently open the jump rings from side to side. Do not pull them apart. That's only going to weaken or break the jump ring. Then you are going to slide the open jump ring into the crimp. Don't close the jump ring just yet. Before we do that, we are going to take another piece of our cord and place that crimp on the same jump ring and then close the jump ring. Then we are going to take a second jump ring, open it, and we are going to place it on that second crimp that we just attached. And again, before we close that jump ring, we are going to grab yet another cord and attach that crimp to this new jump ring. You're going to repeat this process until all the cords have been connected by jump rings. And then we are going to do the exact same thing to the other sides of the cords. Again, this next part is a little more difficult to explain, but we're going to open again another little jump ring, and we're going to attach that jump ring to the centermost jump ring on each side of the cords. This is going to give our clasp a jump ring to attach to. Before we close the clasp, on one side we are going to attach one side of the clasp. We're going to repeat this process on the other side. Remember, before you close your jump ring, to attach the other side of the lobster clasp or whatever clasp you have chosen for your project. At this point in the project, you should have a wearable choker. Next, we are going to take one of our crimp bead covers and securely place it on one of the cords where you would like your first pendant to go. Make sure the cord is placed securely in there, otherwise the crimp bead will cut the cord when you go to tighten it. Then I'm just going to take my pliers and gently squeeze the crimp cover shut so it's secure on the cord. Next, we are going to open another jump ring. This is the part where you would use a larger jump ring if you have a larger cord. However, I'm going to use the same size since my cord is fairly small in diameter. We are going to place that jump ring next to the crimp cover, and then before we close the jump ring, we are going to add the bail or pendant. Then close the jump ring. Now, unfortunately, I did go out of frame while filming the next part, and I apologize for that. However, I just repeated the process with the crimp bead cover on the other side of the jump ring. The point of the crimp bead covers is just to secure the pendant in place so that when you go to wear the necklace, they're not all just going to slide to the center, since we do want to keep them somewhat dispersed throughout the choker. Then you are just going to repeat this process throughout the different cords in different intervals. I chose to use about 2 per cord and just kind of place them where I thought it looked right. Once you finish attaching all of your pendants, then you are done. You have your very own Tonks choker. What's cool about this project is even if you don't want a Tonks choker, even though that's what I made this for, you could really apply these techniques by switching up the pendants and the cords and just really getting creative to make whatever kind of choker will work for you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.